Good morning, y'all. It is February 2nd. It is already February. And my wife just dropped me back off at Dix Creek Gap. So I did take off yesterday, and it was a good day to take off. It rained all day off and on. And my wife ended up coming and meeting me. She didn't get there till around 4, but hey, we hung out all night and had a super great time. And I just cherish any amount of time I get to spend with her. So now I am hiking northbound again. My plan is to get to Muskrat Creek Shelter, which is 11.8, I think. And then see how I feel then. And if I feel good, go ahead and go to White Oak Stamp Gap, which is another mile. I'll have to carry water there. Excuse me. So there is a pretty gnarly rain system coming in. Tuesday it's supposed to come in and last till Friday, I think. So I am going to try to get into Franklin on Tuesday, get to Winding Stair Gap. I think I can do it, but I need to make some miles. So yeah, let me get to hiking and I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all, it's 12 past 11 right now, and I hiked about 5.6 miles, if this is right. I know I hiked about that much. I'm making pretty good time today. Blue Ridge Gap is just down there. So I have 3 more miles and I'll be at the North Carolina border. So that's pretty awesome. Man, today is beautiful. You can tell it's sunny and it's not super cold. The problem is the breeze. There's a nice little wind. I'd say like 5 to 10. If you're on the west side of the mountain, you're freezing, but as soon as you get on the other side, you feel good. And it's funny, I was watching ER's Pinhoti through hike. His first video came out this morning. I was watching it in the hotel room, and he's talking about the little things that annoy you and aggravate you, like his poles. When he puts them down, they always fall. That is one of those things you always forget. But for me, one of my pet peeves is that wind. And especially during the winter, because there's no leaves on the trees, so the wind just comes through. And it seems like there's like 90% of the time there's some kind of breeze up here in the mountains. And when you're on the ridge, so you'll find yourself wanting to put on layers, wanting to take off layers, wanting to put on layers, wanting to take them off. What I do is, when I get on those cold sides, I just up my pace. But man, I think I am gonna have to put on my coat soon, because it's just the wind. If it wasn't for the wind, it would be perfect. But that wind, and that wind's always there. It really is. Well, let me keep on hiking northbound. I am almost in North Carolina, and when I get there, I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all, I am at the North Carolina Georgia border. Georgia's done, except for 1 mile up to Springer, which is nothing. If you've ever hiked up to Springer, it's easy hike. Man, I'll tell you what though, Georgia is, it's not the hardest state by any means, but it's definitely a tough state, man. But here's the thing for northbounders. Y'all are so lucky, because let me tell you, Georgia is 100 times easier to start off than Maine. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier. That's why, I don't know, my opinion of a through hike, the northbound, it's just a more practical way to do it. And there is something about all having other through hikers around you and stuff. Even though I hated the leapfrogging, there's something exciting about it. Like, you feed off each other's energy, you know? And I don't know. That's what's my struggle, my southbound, is you almost feel like you're going against the grain. Like that momentum's just not there. At least that was how it was for me. Maybe because I had already done a northbound. But, so the first time I had done this section, this is a funny story. It's going to be funny to some of y'all and not so funny to some of y'all. So, I would say about a mile before I got here, I had to go number 2 really bad. And I was looking for a place to go, but you're always kind of on the side of a mountain. So I was like, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I was like, you know what would be really, really cool, and I've never done it before, is if when I get to the North Carolina-Georgia border, I go poop right on the border. And that way I'll be pooping in 2 states at the same time. And back then I thought that was just a brilliant idea. So, I went up there, like I looked at the line and I went up there. and dug a hole. Yeah. So yeah, I pooped in 2 states at the same time, and not a lot of people can say that. And I'm sure some of y'all are like, why is this dude talking about pooping? Well, through hikers talk about pooping a lot. It's something we talk about a lot. It really is. And when you through hike or do a long section hike and you're around other hikers, you will find out. It's just something we do a lot. You know, you have all kinds. You have the ones who only do privy poops. Then you have the ones who only poop in the woods. And then you have the ones who do different techniques. They like to lean up against a tree, hang over a log. And then you just have the squatters like me. I prefer the privy just because it's convenient. You don't have to dig a hole. It's a lot easier. But I'll go in the woods. It's not a big deal. Okay, enough about pooping. I am in North Carolina now. I'm actually got 1 foot in Georgia, 1 foot in North Carolina. But I am now officially in North Carolina, and I am going to continue to hike northbound, and I will get back with y'all. All right. So I made it to Muskrat Creek Shelter, and as you can see, it's not a bad shelter. Especially I like that. Let me see. You could fit 8 people snug, but there's a table here. I mean, dude, someone could lay on that table. Someone could lay on this table, and all this eating area in here is sheltered. So that's pretty nice. It's drafty though. The wind is still catching in here, but it's not as bad as being on the ridge, that's for sure. When you get on that ridge and it's exposed, that wind just cuts right through you. But here's what I think is pretty cool about this place that I found so far. Look at this huge, giant, fat quilt. And it looks snug. What is this? Something. I wonder what's in here. I'm gonna look. I wonder if oh, there's some gloves in it. You know what? This might be. Someone might have just left this here and was coming back, but I don't know. anyways, and if I was standing here, even though it's kind of dirty and dingy, I'd probably put that over me, man, because it's drafty in here. Wouldn't be a good... Today's definitely a tenting day. So let me see, it's 3 o'clock and man, I'm cold. And White Oak Stamp Gap's another mile, but you got to get water here and carry it there, but it's not a bad hike. So I think I'm gonna hope that place is a little bit more sheltered from the wind. I don't know if it is or not, but it's kind of early to stop here. It'd be nice to get another mile in, and it's 3 o'clock, so I can just get a bunch of water and just take my time there, and I'd still get there early. The other option is 4 miles to Deep Gap, and then Standing Indian Mountain Shelter is another mile or two. I think it's just another mile after Deep Gap, but I know Standing Indian Mountain Shelter is very open to the wind, and I'm pretty sure Deep Gap, that wind blows right through it. And so I don't want to deal with that wind today, man. The thing is, it would be really, really pleasant today if it wasn't for the wind. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop here and eat a little something, and then I'm gonna load up on some water, and I'm just gonna haul it that mile to White Oak Stamp Gap and probably call that home for sure. Yeah, but if y'all are planning on staying here at Muskrat Creek Shelter, it's a decent shelter for sure, and there is lots of camping here too. So yeah, and there's actually a nice little camping spot, like not even 0.1 right before it. And that little spot is, you get a little view during winter, and I camped there. I've camped at that spot like 4 times just because it's a cool little spot. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep moving on, and I will get back with y'all. All right. Alright y'all, this is my home for the night. I am at White Oak Stamp Gap. And as you can see, so the AT is right there, like back there through that opening, runs right across there. So you come up through this path and you'll see the sign, and then so you'll see it says camp. So there's a spot there, not very super flat, and there's snow on it. Where I am is a really nice spot. You could probably put a small tent there, and you could put another tent like right in there. And so there's a fire ring right there. And so that's where I'm gonna sit on this log, and that's where I'm gonna sit and eat and edit my videos and stuff. You can see my Z-pad has fallen. Yeah, because that log is super soaked. Yeah, so this is White Oak Stamp Gap, So I wasn't 100% sure, but when I was up at Muskrat Creek Shelter, I was like, I'm pretty sure that that spot is surrounded by rhododendrons, which, like I said in my other video, if it's really windy and gusty and you can get inside these rhododendrons, you can see I'm surrounded by them. They will really, really block the wind. And the thing is I'm on a ridge right now. It's a really wide ridge, but still I'm on a ridge, and every now and then I can hear a gust of wind come through, and it just sounds crazy, but in a little bit will get through here, but not much, because it's just, they're just so thick. So like I said, that's the AT, and there you can camp on the other side too. So there's two sides of camping, and I guess over here is a trail, some other Blue Blaze trail. I walked down it just a little bit to see if it was more camp spots, but it wasn't. It looks just like a side trail. But yeah, man, this spot is perfect. And you can see here too, you can put a couple tents there. So it is a great spot to get out of the wind. And the great thing about these places where there's no water is most likely, especially on a weekday, you're gonna have this spot to yourself. Especially if you're hiking in a big group, if you're like in the bubble. Most through hikers just go to shelter, and almost none of them ever want to carry water. They're just too beat by the end of the day. And I don't blame them. Most of the time I don't like to either, but I made good timing today. And I could have actually probably went to Deep Gap, because I think it's only like a little, like 4:30 right now. And I've been just taking my time setting up and everything. But I know Deep Gap, the wind's howling, and this place is just great for a windy day like today. Like, it doesn't even seem like it's windy, but trust me, when you get out there, the wind is howling. And you can see there's still some snow on the ground. So I think it snowed up here yesterday when it was raining in Hiawassee. But yeah, man, this is, I like this spot. And I've passed this spot before a few times, and I always was like, man, this would be a great spot to camp, especially if it's windy. And so, man, I lucked out today. This is perfect. Yeah, so I am going to eat a little bit of something, edit my videos, and I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all, so I'm gonna end it for the day. So today I left Hiawassee. My wife dropped me off at Dix Creek Gap, and I hiked, what was it? I think it's like almost 13 to White Oak Stamp Gap, and made it into North Carolina. So I'm up in the Highlands now. Yeah, so that section, that hike is not too bad, but once you get to Bly Gap, you're just climbing and climbing and climbing until you get to that Muskrat Creek shelter. And it's pretty grueling, but you go up a lot in elevation. So yeah, tomorrow I think I have 15.1 planned, but I'm hoping maybe to get a little farther. That storm system is coming in Tuesday. It's supposed to start raining early Tuesday morning. So that's why I'm trying to get to Franklin before that. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, so today, man, beautiful day, but it was blustery. The wind made it pretty chilly, pretty darn chilly. It's pretty chilly right now. Luckily, I found this nice campsite that's nestled in all this rhododendron. And yeah, and I'm feeling good about today, and I'm feeling good about the hike so far. My knee isn't really bothering me at all. I mean, I feel it a little bit, but not that bad. So yeah, I'm gonna crawl into my tent, and I am reading this AT through hike book that's really interesting. I'm gonna read that, and I will talk with y'all in the morning. All right.